Yo. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face just to make you go take it.
Hello everyone, I hope y'all had a wonderful day today. We're going to talk about Sebastian Rogers, and I have one thing to say before we start. This case has turned into a shit show, point blank, period. And I would like to say one thing. Everybody wants to say Bullhorn Betty. Always starts the shit show everywhere she goes. Always a shit show. Where's Bullhorn Betty right now? Not at the shit show. So everybody needs to just stop blaming her for all the shit shows, because obviously she's not at this one. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, 15, male, white, brown hair, brown eyes. He's 5 foot 5 inches, weighs 120 pounds. Missing from Sumner County, Tennessee on February 26, 2024. An endangered child alert has been issued on behalf of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He's 15 years old. Well, I just said that. He was last seen February 26, 2024 in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee, wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. Sebastian has a medical condition that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. If you have seen Sebastian or have information regarding his whereabouts, please contact the Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838 or TBI at 1-800-TBI-FINE. I'm going to play the Court TV episode with Seth, but first I saw JLR put this video of this guy protesting for Seth to repent, and someone called, I think he called the cops on someone, actually. The cops were called. So I want to show you guys that first. I want to show this video first and then the Court TV video, and then I want to go over these scenarios that I'm hearing in every channel over and over and over again. So here we go with this one. This is JLR, and it is, I put the link in the description.
Yeah, it is. Oh, definitely it is. No, you want to pull over and talk? I'll talk to you right up here. Hey, you want to get this interview?
Not everybody's done that very well.
I knew we would have a couple naysayers. I already had somebody flip me the middle finger a little while ago.
Wow.
Why somebody would do that?
That would only be yeah. Well, it is
We operate on this.
Don't worry, guys. It's about to get better.
How you doing, man? Come on, hey, come on down here and talk to us.
What is this doing to help find Sebastian?
Well, let me ask you first, since you brought it up.
What's this doing?
What is it not doing? Let me ask
Nobody's been proven guilty.
you. That's true.
Okay. Why do we have
Is
to
that,
repent?
is that it?
Why do we have to repent Chris Crawford?
Let me ask you why you think it's not helping find Sebastian first.
Do you have boots on the ground looking?
I have.
You have? When?
So is this guy.
Okay. What does this do?
Well, I'm waiting on your reason why you think it's not helping.
What does this do?
How many days are we on? 40?
Something around there.
Right.
I just want to know.
Law enforcement has scoured the entire area, right?
Correct.
So we're going on past day 40 now. Let me get up here so I can be eye level with you, sir.
Okay.
What's your name?
I'm not going to share that information.
Okay, that's fair enough. So the reason we're asking Chris Proudfoot to repent is because he has lied on camera multiple times during multiple interviews. Yes or no? Have you been following the case?
I have been following the case.
Okay. So you don't have a comment on that?
No, sir.
Okay. So you think he's innocent? You think he's guilty? You think there's foul play? You think he just wandered off? I'm just asking your opinion, man.
It's not my expertise to share.
Okay. So what do you mean by expert?
That guy's foot is just going, just a tapping away. Holy moly. How do you feel about this guy being on side the road telling Chris Proudfoot to repent? He said that he has gone out searching. I don't know. That's just what he's saying.
Expertise?
I'm not law enforcement.
Okay. You have to be law enforcement to form a conclusion that somebody's not telling the truth?
No, sir.
Well, there we go. So we have watched Mr. Proudfoot incessantly lie, change his story multiple times. Okay. Now I'm coming from. Let me just tell you where I'm coming from. Okay, you see a little standoffish. You don't have to do that. I deal with this all the time. I've been doing this for 5 years.
I don't. That's right.
Okay, so I'm coming at this from a 100% biblical perspective, right? Are you a Christian?
Yes, sir.
Believe in the Bible?
Yes, sir.
What does the Bible say about people who lie?
I just want to know what this is doing.
Well, let's stay on target, man. I'm trying to explain it to you, but you keep redirecting the conversation. So let me ask you again. What does the Bible say about people who lie? I'm getting to a point here.
I'm not coming out here to talk about the Bible. I'm talking about to find out what you were doing to help
And
find
I'm
Sebastian.
trying to answer that. I'm out here because of the Bible, because of what the Bible says. I'm a Christian. I'm a man of God. I go out and I preach the Word of God. So we're out here on a biblical plate. You're asking me why I'm doing this and why this is helping find Sebastian. I'm trying to tell you why.
Why are you wanting to repent Chris Crawford?
Okay, again, I'm going to go back to my question. You said you're a Christian.
I don't want to answer questions about
Chris
the Bible.
Proudfoot has lied, okay? And the Bible, I'll tell you what the Bible says. In Revelation chapter 21, verse 8, it says that all liars will find their place in the lake of fire, okay? Which is the second death. Which, as a Christian, that is hell, okay? And that's what Jesus taught when he walked the earth. Now, Chris Proudfoot reports that he's a Christian, but he's lied multiple times. I mean, everybody, it does not take an expert in law enforcement to see that somebody's not telling the truth when you change your story multiple times. So we're out here to call Chris Proudfoot for repentance because it's been over 40 days.
Are you expecting Chris Crawford to come out here?
Let me finish my statement, okay, and then you can ask your next question. Sebastian has been missing for over 40 days, right? We agree on that?
Yes.
Law enforcement experts have scoured the entire area. Volunteers like myself, I've been out hiking, looking. He's been out hiking, looking. Everybody's been out searching. Law enforcement did a massive search just the other day. Nothing. He's vanished without a trace.
Correct.
Now, statistically speaking, when cases like this unfold like this, it's usually somebody that knows the victim, somebody very close to the victim. And the last person that saw Sebastian alive, supposedly, was Katie Proudfoot. Yes or no?
Correct.
So I would speculate that they would have the answers because there has not been a trace of anything. So we're out here tackling this from a different angle, okay? So the different angle is, just like law enforcement said, you can't leave any stone unturned. And even Chris Proudfoot himself said everything is on the table. Nothing can be ruled out. And that was with direct questions from Nancy Grace and other interviewers that directly asked him, Mr. Proudfoot, do you know what happened to Sebastian? Are you guilty? Did you do something? And each time he answered, I can tell you we've not been ruled as suspects, but nothing is left off the table. Okay? So to help find Sebastian, to answer your question, it's not an easy yes or no answer. It's not something I can just give you simply, man. You have to attack all angles, man. You have to look at all people. If we just close the door on the possibility of the Proudfoots knowing something, and that's where Sebastian is hiding behind that door, the answers to Sebastian's going missing, then we're never going to know. So if you just say, oh, well, there's no evidence, so we should just shut that door and not even look there, not even call attention to it, I mean, you're doing Sebastian an injustice.
I'm not doing Sebastian an injustice.
Okay. Well, that's my answer, bud. God bless you, man.
He's doing nothing wrong. I mean, it's his constitutional right to do what he's doing. However, Chris is not going to see this unless he watches it on YouTube or something like social media because he's not in Tennessee. So he's not, I mean, I would hold a picture of Sebastian over holding a sign. And that's just me and my personal opinion.
I'm going to go back to the original.
So, JT, what's going on?
Yeah, so this young man pulls up and he says, what is this doing to help find Sebastian? And I tried to explain it to him, and I told him, we're out here because we can't, like the law enforcement said, we can't leave any stone left unturned, right? Every possibility has to be examined here, guys. So we're out here on a biblical perspective. Some of you guys may not agree with our beliefs, and that's perfectly fine. That's between you and God. But we're out here to call Chris Proud to repentance because we've caught him in several lies. And the Bible says that lie is a sin. So this young man didn't like that. He came up here and I asked him to come up here and talk to me. He came up and talked to me. He walked down the hill, stood over me, and he was kind of shaking and violently trembling like this. I felt a little uncomfortable by that, so I kind of moved up the hill where JR is, and I said, let me get eye level with you, man. We don't have to be confrontational, this and that. Well, I didn't see it, but apparently our other group here saw it. He had his hand on his firearm on the grip, and he was I don't know if he was doing it to intimidate me into silence or what. And but yeah, that's the case. One of them called the police, and now they're out searching for the suspect.
A rumor to be cleared up. People are saying, oh my God, did they really pull a gun? You heard it from the man's mouth. He had his hand on it to maybe intimidate this guy. No gun was pulled.
So,
Oh, wow. They're searching for him.
so now the police want to talk to me, so I'm going to go up here and talk to these gentlemen.
All right.
Yes,
What's going on?
Oh, yeah. What you guys doing?
Well, we're out here just bringing awareness to Sebastian's.
Oh, okay.
Somebody didn't like that. They came up and said, what is this doing to help Sebastian? I don't know the guy's name or anything, but pulled up and stopped in the road. And I said, man, if you want to, come up here and talk about it. I'm trying to explain it to you. Okay. Apparently they saw him with, she got him a camera, he had his hand on his phone. I didn't see him. I was doing it, so I was looking for that. I said, hey, when you get, I don't know what you get. We're going to need some conversation. I explained it. So I didn't take any threat to an actual firearm. They saw.
There's no aggressive protesting going on here.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Okay, we haven't had a call.
I have a law firm that represents me when I go out and do these things.
We haven't had a call about it.
All that stuff. So, yeah, we know the law, we know our rights, we know where we can stand, where we can't stand. We're going to pros and cons. So, anything you guys want to tell us, or stuff us on.
Oh, you're not causing no disturbance to us. I didn't see nothing wrong with it. So.
Yeah, we're going to get some people upset, man. Some people don't like the message anymore. You know, we're living in a fallen society. They want to silence your First Amendment rights. You know, so we're going to come up here and do what they do.
Again, the link to this is in the description on YouTube. Hello, everyone on X. So the guy with the sign is the one that called the police on the guy he was talking to. The guy that was shaking his boot, tapping his boot, called the cops on that guy because he held his hand on his gun. He never pulled it. He just held his hand on it to try to intimidate the guy with the sign. Nothing was done. Hi, Mia. Nothing was done because the guy with the sign has done nothing wrong. The guy just didn't like him there. That's your problem. Move along. There's nothing else. I mean, there's nothing you can do. Just move on along and mind your business and go do what you want to do for Sebastian. And let this guy do what he wants to do for Sebastian. And this is Seth on Court TV. I think the morning he did Nancy, he was on Court TV that night or the next night. I don't remember exactly which night it was, but it was only like 2 days ago.
February 26th in Hendersonville, Tennessee. It was a Monday morning. Katie Proudfoot says she woke up at about 6 in the morning to get her son Sebastian ready for school. But when she went to his room, he wasn't there. Katie quickly went around the house and could not find him. Where was Sebastian? Panic quickly set in. Katie says she called police and searched around the neighborhood and at school and could not find him. She says his shoes were still at home. His phone was still there too, but a flashlight was missing. Where did Sebastian go? Did he leave in the middle of the night? Why would he leave? These are all questions that have no answers. Police say they don't know where he is. They don't know what happened. All of Sebastian's parents have cooperated, his mother, Katie Proudfoot, his stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, and his dad, Seth Rogers. They also say there's no sign of foul play. But people don't just vanish. Tonight, we speak live with Sebastian's dad. What does he know? What does he suspect? Then we'll also listen to what Sebastian's mom and stepdad have said. Does it all make sense? Tonight, as investigators continue their search, we continue our investigation into the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers.
I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I want to start here because this is the most important part. If you take nothing else away from the next hour of this program, please just remember this face. Okay? If you don't remember anything else, even if you change the channel at some point, please remember this face. This child is missing. You may know something. You may have seen something. Investigators need help. His family needs help. Sebastian needs your help. A new search was announced today. A search that seems to be relatively close to the home, but good news, right? Yesterday, we heard from investigators from the sheriff, FBI, and one day after they addressed the public to kind of give an update on what's going on, now a renewed search that could take a couple of days. That's good news, not great news. It's good news. You've got to keep the search going. You've got to keep his face out there. You've got to keep a spotlight on what is happening here. Because we don't know what happened. Nobody knows. Well, somebody might know, but investigators don't know. We don't know. You don't know. I don't know. Which leaves open like any possibility here. So it's good that the search is continuing. more importantly, remember his face. Another question people are asking tonight is like, where's mom? Where's mom? And we're going to talk about that tonight. And a lot of people have been talking about that, but it's a difficult position for any parent to be in what has happened here. Now, I could, his dad's going to be here. And we'll get information from Seth Rogers when he joins us in just a moment. But I want you to listen one more time to the chief deputy from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, again, describing the status of this investigation, this search for a missing child.
There is no evidence to support in the distance.
But at this point, you don't rule it out?
We're not ruling anything out.
Not ruling anything out. Why? Because they don't know what happened here. They don't know. I want to bring in our special guest right off the top, Sebastian's dad, Seth Rogers, joining us tonight from Clarksville, Tennessee. Seth, thank you so much for joining us. I know this isn't easy. A lot of people are asking you for your time, so we do appreciate it. How are you doing? How are you holding up? Your feed,
looking for my son.
Your feed just froze up for a second. I'm so sorry, Seth. So we didn't hear. How are you holding up tonight?
I'm just looking for my son. There is no holding up. It's just moving forward. Move forward to the next location. Move forward to the next. Anything that I get, any type of lead, any type of anything. I mean, it's just every day holding on to hope.
What are your thoughts about the investigation and the status of the law enforcement investigation into the search for your son, where they're not ruling anything out, no evidence of foul play? Do you think that they have found anything so far in more than a month?
I'm not part of the investigation, and they don't have to let me know anything, which they don't let me know anything.
Fair enough. Not letting you know anything is one part. The other part is you're his dad, right? So has that communication been enough to have you feel like, okay, I know and I trust that they're working this thing?
I'm in law enforcement myself, so I've got to trust the procedure. I got to trust that if everything is followed by the procedure and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, that there will be a positive outcome and my son will be found. I don't understand. They haven't came up with anything, why they're not asking for higher powers to help.
From where, I want to go back to when you first found out, and then this part isn't clear in my head. Where were you when you found out that Sebastian was missing, and who called you? What was that conversation like? And then sort of what happened next there?
Made it out to the parking garage. When I got in my vehicle, I saw I had a missed call and a text message. Christopher Proudfoot. Text message was a 911, so I called immediately. And he's the one that told me that Sebastian was missing.
You know, Seth said that most of his communication about Sebastian was with Chris, not Katie. I thought that was kind of weird too.
And how much detail did he give you about what happened? And How would you describe that moment, that call?
Wasn't much detail except for Sebastian. Except for he said Katie woke up, Sebastian's missing. So I left the parking garage and headed straight to her house.
And how far are you from the house?
About 45 minutes from downtown correction center to their house in Henderson, Sumner County.
Okay, so now you respond. You're on that 45-minute ride there. Are you talking to anyone, or are you just pedal to the metal trying to get there?
Nah, I'm trying not to get a speeding ticket.
I get that, but I mean, are you just focused on getting there, or are you calling his mom to get more details?
No, I'm just focusing on traffic to get there as fast as possible.
So now when you got there, what happened at that moment? Like, did you have a conversation with his mom, and did you try to find out, like, well, what the situation was here?
When I got there, there was already law enforcement presence there. So I walked in and just started listening to what was going on.
And
I wanted to hear what was going on. So I got to hear her telling law enforcement asking questions, me listening to the questions and listening to the responses from his mother.
And what did you form any opinion based upon what you were hearing?
Knew my son was missing, and I just started watching body language, listening to words coming out. Did I form an opinion? Yeah, I formed an opinion. I am only human.
And what was that opinion?
That once again, my son, something has happened to my son under her watch. And once again, she wasn't being an adult. She wasn't being a parent taking care of an autistic child.
So as you're listening and watching her, now she was home, it was just Sebastian and his mom that were home at that time?
When I got, yes, because when I got there, it was just Katie, and I think Chris's mom was there, but it was just, when the incident happened, it was just Katie and Sebastian at the house, from my understanding.
Now, I've got to imagine your mind is racing at the time you're hearing all this information. So as you're hearing the information from Katie, and from what you're telling me, it seems like you're a little upset in how things were handled. So what happened next? Where did you go? Where did she go? What did police do at that time? Because this is very early on, right? This is the morning of.
They started asking me questions on where I'd been. I told them I'd been at work I've been clocked in since before 7, but I'd been at work in the parking garage since about 6 o'clock the night before. And I told them they can call and verify where I've been at. And I just sat there and started listening. Just listening to everything that was being said.
Now, did you have any reason to believe that there were any problems in that home?
Katie was pretty adamant about having a good weekend, which meant my son wasn't misbehaving in her point of view.
So I'm trying to read between the lines here. Do you believe that she doesn't exercise enough patience with Sebastian, and that causes some problems in the home, or she doesn't approach her responsibilities as a parent appropriately? Like there's something off
Autistic
there?
children take a different. Well, autistic children take. It's a different aspect when you're a parent of an autistic child. You don't really get much freedom because you have to set a routine and you have to go abide by it. And when she's sitting there telling me she put him to bed at 9 o'clock the night before or 9:30 the night before, and that, she heard him in there and told him to go to bed and things like that, it's like there's not much of a routine. And with there's no routine, then autistic children don't act the same way they're supposed to. When I've had him, there's a routine in my house when I have him. And he's a teenager. You're going to listen. You're going to hear some back talk probably. I mean, they're growing. They're going to rebel some way. They're teenagers, so you're going to listen to it. You're going to have to deal with it. But you still got to remember that you're a parent. And you have to adjust your lifestyle to be able to make sure that they can adjust and learn and still grow. You can't do some of the things that I've seen her do in the past. So
the custody arrangement, it seems you both have custody and he'll spend time with you as well as with his mom. Were there any indication in your communications with Katie that like she didn't want custody, that she didn't want that responsibility, and there were problems and she was running into some rough waters? Anything like that?
Most of my discussions were actually taken care with Chris. And Sebastian was supposed to come live with me. Chris was working on Katie, on getting her to agree to it. And all I wanted was my son to come live with me. I've already got him enrolled in school. I've had him enrolled in school. I got to find him.
I want to put something up on the screen here. This is from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. They made a Facebook post. Important announcement, attention everyone. We want to clarify that the eyeglasses recently found are not related to Sebastian Rogers. The search operation planned for today, which is like today, has been in the works for several days. We appreciate your cooperation, understanding. My understanding is that you and your team are the ones that found these glasses?
One of my teams. I have a group of volunteers that changes pretty much throughout the day, throughout the week. So whoever's off work needs to come to help. They come to help. Then I separate everybody in teams and I ask them to go flyer this area or flyer that area. And one of my volunteer groups found glasses. They contacted me because they couldn't get a hold of anybody they told me they couldn't get a hold of anybody at the sheriff's office. I turned around, I called my contact. I flagged down a deputy sheriff that I saw by our volunteer area and turned around and had him wait. And I told them to put on gloves, bag them, tag them, bring them back so I could give them to the deputy sheriff that was there so that we could fill out the evidence and have a chain of evidence.
And when you saw the glass, you agree with this? It couldn't be Sebastian's?
They were very similar to Sebastian's. It's been a month and a half since I've seen my son. So, it's a month and a half since I've seen his glasses. They looked really, really similar to the point that I didn't want to lose a chance that these might be evidence. So I gave them to the sheriff's department to log as evidence.
I want to play for you Katie, who spoke on YouTube to the Chronicles of Olivia, describing that morning and the night before. And I want to get your reaction to what she says happened in the house and where they were. Let's watch.
We went and picked up our niece. Yeah, I got a call and asked if I could go and pick her up, and I did. And so we went and did that. We went to BJ's. Had a good time there. He ate a colossal popcorn. Came home to put groceries away because we bought snacks because, you know, he's 15 and snacks. We went to the bowling alley. And then from there we went to dinner. Came home. He took out the trash because that's his chore. He takes the can to the end of the driveway. About 9 o'clock, told him to go to bed. He was come out of his room where he was playing, and he said, "All right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you." And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise, and I was like, "I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep." And about midnight, I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock, I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
Seth, you know Katie better than all of us, obviously. You know your son so well. Is there anything in that story that doesn't make sense to you?
The inconsistencies, from what I've heard before, none of it makes sense. Things aren't, you know. I'm not here to sling mud, but why is she asking Chris to verify what she did on Sunday when Chris wasn't here on Sunday?
I said the exact thing. And especially when she said she went pick up her niece, she said, "I went pick up my niece." And then she turned to Chris and he shook his head. Why do you need to verify with Chris that you went pick up your niece that day? And why does he keep shaking his head yes and like putting his eyes up like he's thinking, and then shaking his head yes at what she's saying they did that day when he wasn't even there?
That is such...
Or the fact that she's and didn't bother to check on our son. You know, there's a difference between some noise or a thump. I mean, just the information that I receive from watching any of their podcasts don't make sense.
Seth, please stay with us. I have a few more questions, and I want to make sure everyone, why we're doing this is because there is a boy who is missing. Here's a dad who needs your help, and Sebastian needs your help. So Seth is going to stay with us. We've got more with him, plus coming up in the next hour. In Bolingbrook, Illinois, a potentially huge break in a huge true crime mystery. In 2007, 23-year-old Stacy Peterson disappeared. Her husband, Bolingbrook police officer Drew Peterson, was a person of interest in the case. He was later convicted of murdering his prior wife, Kathleen Savio. Stacy's sister says she has found Stacy's remains, and she joins us live tonight.
So you don't have a temper? No. Are you in love with Stacy? Very much so. Think she might be alive? I do.
Please remember that this was 2 days ago. So when he says tonight, it's not tonight.
They will seek the death penalty against him.
Investigators have recovered human remains at Chad Daybell's residence.
Sorry. Also, I do stream Chad's trial. We're on day 6 of jury selection, and opening statement should start Tuesday. So if you want to watch that, head on over to my YouTube channel.
Chad Daybell on trial.
I didn't see him in his room. I looked all over. I ran through the whole house. I looked out all the doors and windows, and I was like hollering his name. And I picked up the phone and I called my husband, and I said, I can't find him. And he said, what do you mean? I said, he's not in this effing house. I can't find our son.
That's Katie Proudfoot describing what she says is the moment that she realized that her son, Sebastian Rogers, was missing. Sebastian's dad, Seth Rogers, is still with us tonight. Seth, again, thank you. What is the last verifiable proof of, I guess, proof of life is one way to put it. I hate to say it like that, but the last time that you can verify that someone outside of that home saw him or he was on video?
It would have been Sunday, leaving Texas Roadhouse.
And what time was that about?
About 6:30.
And do you know everyone who was there at Roadhouse with Sebastian?
All I saw was as they left the building and got into Katie's car, it was just her and Sebastian.
And anything unusual about the video?
Not that I could observe from what little I saw.
And when they went to dinner and out that day, I think Katie's described being with other family members. Have any of them spoken to you? Have any of them joined in the searches?
No.
No?
No.
How about the immediate neighborhood? Have all the homes been searched? Have the people in that immediate neighborhood all been cooperative?
From my understanding, a lot of them have cooperated with law enforcement, and that they've given up their video cameras footage to Sumner County sheriffs, and they've been pretty much cooperative with law enforcement.
How about
me personally? I haven't been in that neighborhood since the Wednesday afterwards. I've been around there. I've been to the Beach High School, but as for going into that neighborhood, no. I've been next door to the construction area. I researched that. I searched it on the Tuesday after he left, and then I've been there a couple times to research it. I've been to Beach High School. Been over to the fire station when they had the EMA Mobile Command Center there.
Do you think it's possible that he would, because you know your son, that he would leave in the middle of the night, potentially barefoot, maybe with a flashlight?
It doesn't seem like my son at all. He would never leave my house in the middle of the night barefoot. And if he did, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. You know, we've left in the middle of the night. There's been times that we've gone fishing in the middle of the night. You know, we plan that sort of stuff. But him walking out the door in the middle of the night, no. It's not something he would do. It's something he's never done on me.
Is there any chance, and I know there were rules in place, but is there any chance that he could have been lured by someone either from school or somewhere else to like, hey, we're doing something at night, or we're going somewhere, or we're going to meet up? Is that, you think that's in the realm of possibilities?
I find that highly unlikely because my son doesn't really have a concept of days or or time in order to plan something like that.
What do you mean? Could you explain that?
Well, trying to get him to wear a watch is already hard enough. I've had him set timers on his phone so that he remembers that, hey, it's 7 o'clock at night. I need to take my medicine. I mean, he doesn't really have a concept of time except for, he's got to, when he gets woken up in the morning at his mom's, normally around 6 o'clock, he's got an hour to get up, get ready, eat his food, and be out there to catch the bus between 7:10 and 7:20. Then he goes to school. He gets out of school at 3 o'clock, and I normally call him about 3:30. But when he's here and it's a weekend or something, there's no time. Telling him at noon we're going to head out and go fishing, and I'll sit there and watch. And he's all interested in going fishing. I'll sit there, and then he'll be like, he'll walk up to me. It's like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He's like, I thought we were going fishing this morning. I was like, well, what time is it? And he'll run into the kitchen and look and be like, it's 2 o'clock. And it's like, oh, well, I thought we were going to do that this morning. And you needed to let me know when that was your thing. That's what I talked to you about. Let's get everything ready at 11 o'clock so we can go fishing. And you've been playing with your toys, playing on your video game, watching TV with me. And it was like, well, I didn't realize what time it was. And it's like, okay, well, we were supposed to do that this morning. Let's go ahead and get it done now. He didn't really have a concept of the time.
I want to
It's one of the reasons I watch.
I want to take another listen to Katie and Chris from the Chronicles of Olivia here, talking more about Sebastian, and get your reaction.
Sebastian hasn't been on his medication in 20 days. So he is rambunctious. He's got to be hungry. He turns into a bottomless pit. I mean, he's your teenage boy, always hungry. On the spectrum, yes. But not one autistic child in this world is like another one. What we can tell you is he's smart. He can be goofy. He kind of has issues with personal space. He hasn't mastered.
He can be
up in your face kind of kid.
He can be aggressive if he's upset.
Yeah. He's emotional. He's a teenager. He
doesn't punch and hit and throw, but he gets really aggressive stanced or clipped where he just won't talk to you, or if he's really upset, he growls.
Seth, what are your thoughts about what we just saw?
They're describing my son when he was 4 or 5.
He's different now.
Yeah.
Can you give us your routine now? I mean, I just get a sense that you're not sleeping much, that you are out searching, you're organizing, you're getting the word out. What is each day like for you? And what are your thoughts about where his mom is, Katie, which is not in town anymore?
Chris and Katie Proudfoot are they're adults. they're responsible for themselves. I'm Seth Rogers. I'm looking for my son, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I'm his dad. He's missing. I have to find him. It doesn't look like they're doing it, so, I'll do it on my own if I have to. I'll ask for people to come help. If they don't, then I'll do it myself. I've always been like that. You can't rely on people. Luckily enough, I'm finding people that I can rely on currently to help me find my son, and I appreciate everybody that is showing up. We've gotten people that have showed up from Ohio. We've gotten people that showed up from Missouri. We've got people that have come in from Florida. Everybody, we got people in the community that are showing up. They're upset and they're mad at how Chris and Katie are behaving in this. But they're human. I mean, none of us are without fault. Just, I would think that parents would and should act different.
Seth, thank you.
I'm going to find him.
I hear it in your voice. I see it in your eyes. Our thoughts, our prayers are with you and Sebastian. Obviously, we're going to keep his picture on the screen as much as we can, night after night. Thank you so much, Seth. Good luck in the search, and please try to make sure you're taking. I know you don't worry about yourself, but please take care of yourself too, as well, Seth.
I will. I'll be around here long after I find Sebastian.
All right. Thank you, Seth. All right. When we come back, folks, we're going to continue looking at this story. We're going to speak with Olivia, Chronicles of Olivia. I know you've seen it on TikTok. You've seen it on YouTube. She spoke with Katie and Chris Proudfoot. She's going to join us next.
Hey guys, I'm out here in Hendersonville, Tennessee. I just posted a video where a whole group of volunteers and myself were in the woods back here, and 6 cadaver dogs picked up and hit a certain area by these train tracks. And I'm going to show you the footage right here that I took of one of the cadaver dogs that they had.
Welcome back. That's Olivia Vitali from the Chronicles of Olivia. You've seen her on TikTok, YouTube, doing compelling work in the world of true crime. There, at the time of one of the searches for Sebastian, she also went to the house and interviewed Sebastian's mom and stepdad. Take a look.
In today's video, I interviewed the mother and stepfather of Sebastian Rogers, a 15-year-old who vanished from Hendersonville, Tennessee on February 26th of 2024. He vanished and hasn't been seen since.
Although he doesn't like to be dirty, it's kind of funny because he also doesn't have awareness, because if you look, he's got chocolate milk on his face because he didn't wipe it off at breakfast.
And joining me right now, the TikToker behind Chronicles of Olivia, Olivia Vitali. Olivia, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate it. Let me start here. You go to the home, to the house. When you walked in there and you met Sebastian's mom and stepdad, what were some of the first impressions that you had?
In terms of my first impressions, they were very nice. I went with my mother along with a colleague of mine who works for Crime Scene Collective, which I'm an executive producer on. And they were welcoming, nice, and that's how they treated us.
Did you get to walk around the house at all? Did you see his room, anything, or did they just want to sit and do the interview?
So they did want me to see Sebastian's room, but unfortunately I didn't have the chance to. I got so carried away with his mother, she was showing me pictures of Sebastian, and it was a bittersweet moment. However, my colleague Ethan did enter Sebastian's room with Chris, and what my colleague tells me is that the room was clean, it was ordinary. There was a private bathroom, a twin bed, and a window that faces the front yard.
I've looked at pictures. It seems like a really beautiful neighborhood, great house. It's where you would want to raise a family. You were taking part in some of the searches there. Can you describe the area, the areas where the searches were, the area around the house? How would you describe all of that?
Well, the area is fairly wooded. There is, it's the suburbs, there's neighborhoods, but there are areas we searched near one of the highways and just kind of around in the area. But there is trees and forest in that area. It's outside of Nashville. There's definitely more, as you can see, forest and yeah.
So what was your takeaway from that interview? This is a story. I know you cover a lot of stories, but this is one where everyone who's looking at this feels like there's nothing. There's not a clue. There's like no information. This is a 15-year-old who seemingly has vanished. Is there anything that sort of struck you as, well, wait a minute, that doesn't happen. Something happened here, and maybe something you're thinking about, something that maybe folks on the ground there were thinking about could have happened here. Because like from the outside looking in, it's like this young man just vanished.
You know, it's a mystery. I wish I had the answer to that question. I mean, I didn't see anything unusual in their home. It's actually very beautiful, very spacious, and it's a beautiful neighborhood, a lot of big houses. And they were very nice and cordial with me and my mother and my friend, Ethan. And I have no idea. It is a mystery. In terms of the conference yesterday, the chief deputy did say there is no evidence to suggest foul play.
I know. So, but something happened, right? We all know that something happened. Either he was lured outside, walked outside, or something else happened. What's the lingering question that you have tonight, Olivia, about Sebastian and what happened here, or what question needs to be answered?
In terms of a question that needs to be answered, I mean, it is a mystery. I wonder about security footage, or if possibly maybe there's somewhere out there a certain building or something that may have just that one bit of security footage, or that could show maybe something, or maybe someone out there knows something and they just need to see Sebastian's face, which is really important. I think the point of the interview is to bring awareness to Sebastian, and that's something that, another thing is we didn't want to focus on speculation or rumor-driven theories, just facts that could lead to hopefully find Sebastian.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Obviously, everyone is watching your interview, and everyone that watches it sees his face. Everyone that sees his face, now you spread it, and hopefully someone out there has that one lead that leads to an answer here. Olivia Vitali, great to have you on the program. Chronicles of Olivia, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. Great work you're doing. Thanks so much.
That was Sebastian's dad, Seth Rogers, on Court TV with Finney. And then I just have a couple of things that I keep hearing on other lives and in chats that I wanted to talk about, because it keeps coming up and a lot of it makes no sense at all. But one thing that I do want to know, they're talking about him taking out the trash that night. Seth said that he did see, quote unquote, Sebastian taking out the trash, but he couldn't tell for 100% it was him. It was on a video. So I want to know where they kept the garbage outside, like the big garbage can that they bring to the road. Did they leave it like on side their house next to the garage? Did they leave it in the garage? Like, I wonder where the trash can was, where they kept it before they bring it to the road. If it's visible by any cameras or if it's like in the garage, like I said. And then people are talking about Katie dumped his body when they left Texas Roadhouse and he never made it home. What would have happened between the time they left Texas Roadhouse to the time she's driving home? Something would have had to happen. He was seen getting into the vehicle at Texas Roadhouse. What would have happened that soon for her to drop him off somewhere on the way home? I don't understand that either. Hiding. Why would they hide him? It makes no sense whatsoever. How long are they going to hide him for? What are they going to do when he comes back out to the world? Say, oh, he was like, what are they going to do? They're going to get in trouble if they're hiding him, and they can't keep him secluded forever from the world. So it's going to eventually come out. So that, well, I mean, people are stupid anyway. So him running away or being kidnapped. They said in the interview, outside of his window is mulch and plants that was undisturbed. So going out the window or somebody coming in the window is pretty much out because the plants around his window were undisturbed. And I really think that in a situation where you're going to kidnap somebody in a house without someone else there seeing you, it would be pretty fast. So I'm sure they wouldn't be like, oh my God, let me not walk on the plants. Chris and his lie detector test. Why won't he take one? And is TBI going to make him take a lie detector test like he posted on Facebook, or is he just lying again? The next one is my theory. And it kind of goes with dropping him off alongside and him not getting home. Could she have poisoned his drink at the restaurant to where he could still walk out okay, to where people wouldn't think something was wrong with him, but didn't make it to the house? And that's my theory. Let's see. Why is Chris's family following people around? If they follow JLR around like he had on his videos, who else are they following around like that? And are they the ones taking down the flyers? Because Seth said that all the flyers that they put up around town, people are taking them down. Why would people do that? It's got to be his family. I don't know. And also these SA allegations that are coming out from Seth, I want to know if he knew it was happening, and if he knew it happened, why didn't he try to get custody of his son? Because that was a long time ago. Now, Seth wouldn't take him from Katie, and Katie wouldn't keep him from Seth. Katie is a domicile parent. Seth gets him every other weekend and on holidays. That agreement that they agreed on, and there's no child support on either side. They agreed on this. The agreement is switched. Katie will still be the domicile parent, but Sebastian would live with Seth and go to school, and then he would go to Katie's house every other weekend on the holidays. So it would still be switched, and there would be no child support owed or nothing like that. So I don't know why people would be saying that. Then she's very talented. I know she was in the Navy, and I know she's into MMA, but she's also very talented because I know I, for one, cannot talk on the phone for 3 hours and read a chapter for school at the same time. Sorry, but I'm not that talented. If you are, yay for you. I want to know, did Chris leave when he left Memphis? Because he called the sheriff's office to report Sebastian missing from Memphis on three-way with Katie. Also, I've seen when Katie went look for Sebastian at 6 o'clock in the morning, did she use that opportunity to do something with his body if foul play happened? And then I thought something else was weird. I found out on Smiley Stories World's interview with Katie and Chris, Chris said this. He said, quote, end quote, Sebastian liked magic and he did a Houdini on us. I don't think that was very funny. I don't think it was very cute at all. Also, they were both in the Navy. They are both veterans of the United States of America. Just because there's two bad apples, probably more, but we'll just say these two bad apples out of every single soldier that's been in the military or is in the military, out of all those people, just because we have these two bad eggs does not mean veterans are bad people, and we shouldn't even be bashing them, because I heard that happen too, and that's not cool at all. We need to be thanking them. I'm sorry that there's two horrible people. They just happen to be veterans of the Navy, but we shouldn't be bashing our vets at all. We should be thanking them 100%. And the last thing that I wanted to say was, why does every high profile case turn into a shit show? Please tell me. Every single case that comes up has turned into a shit show and something has happened. This is about the missing children. This is not about anything else. And the fact that every single case has become a shit show and it has something to do with YouTube all the time. If you want to go out there and help, go out there and help. Don't cause ruckus to get clicks and views and subs. That is sickening. We need help to find Sebastian Rogers. Not to cause ruckus over there in Tennessee, not to follow his parents in Mississippi or wherever they are, not to go harass Chris's family or anything like that at all. Just go help search. What does it matter if you live stream it? Just go. There's a 15-year-old boy with autism missing for 40 days plus. And they're sitting on YouTube making it a joke. Putting whatever they want on thumbnails. T-Rev has on his thumbnail possible sighting. I've never heard of a possible sighting of Sebastian Rogers ever. Why is it on your thumbnail? This is what I'm talking about. This shit is sickening. And it really needs to stop. And we need to focus on Sebastian. Nothing else. And that's just my opinions on the whole thing. And I tried so hard not to come live and do this because I totally don't agree with it. But it's just the same thing over and over again. Every live that you watch, every call-in show that you watch, it's the same thing over and over again. It's like, dude, no. I just went through all these scenarios. They can't happen. And it's crazy. The rumors, the conspiracies, everything. Speculation is just out of this world. I don't know. I just hope it stops. Just get the information out there and go on. I just don't understand this, you guys. But this is all that I have for you this evening. I will go live with another story tomorrow of it happened actually here in Arizona by Phoenix. A teenager was beaten to death by another millionaire teenager. And of course, they're going to try to cover up because they're millionaires. So I'm going to come live with that tomorrow. And then, of course, Monday, we start again with Chad Daybell. The trial Monday is day 6 of jury selection, and then Tuesday, I do believe, is the start of opening statements. So I hope to see you there for both of them. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. Everybody, thank you so much on X for being here. I see all of you, and I appreciate you so much. Everybody on YouTube, hit that like button for me. Share, subscribe, and Facebook, thank you. I see y'all too. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad.